Welcome to the new features and Blackboard workshop. All of the features that I'm covering today will be live and available in the spring 2015 semester. The first feature I'm going to talk about today is the integrated calendar. You'll find the integrated calendar underneath the Tools Communications section in your menu, and then by clicking on the calendar link. This is the look of the new integrated calendar. First, you can select the calendar you want to show, such as the institution, personal, or one of your courses, by clicking on or off the check boxes. If I just want to see what's in Karen's test course, the blue is associated with the blue. If I want to also see what's in Steve's course, I can click here, and the red is associated with the red. So you have the option to toggle in between these calendars to see exactly what you want to see. You can change the color of each calendar to suit your preference. Using a distinct color for each calendar easily displays which calendar the event is associated with. All institution events appear in the institution calendar. All course events, such as assignments, do appear in the course calendar. You can view your events by clicking up here by day, by week, or by month. You can navigate to another month through the calendar on the side or the calendar on top. If you'd like to create a new event, you can click on the plus sign up here, which opens up the Create Event box, or you can also double click on the actual day itself, and it'll also open up the Create Event box. You need to name your event, and in this case I'm going to select my personal calendar with the drop-down box, click my personal calendar, and save that event. And you can see it showed up right here on the 11th after I double-clicked on this box. If you'd like to manage an event, you just double-click on the actual event itself, and it opens this box back up so you can change any of the specifics that you want to change on here, and then resave it. If you've realized you've put it on the wrong date, you can now drag and drop between days on your calendar. So I'm going to grab this doctor appointment right here and drag it and drop it down to the 27th, and it will automatically keep the time for you once you put it on the new date. You can also get an iCal URL for importing your Blackboard Learn Calendar into an external calendar application. You cannot import external calendars into this calendar. If you'd like to delete an event, you can double click on the event. Once this window pops up, click on Delete and say OK. When you create items with due dates, such as tests or assignments, the calendar event automatically appears on the course calendar for that day. For example, you can see on the 4th here, there's nothing listed. If I go into my assignments and I create an assignment, and apply a due date to it, I'll leave it for the 4th and click on Submit. And go back into my calendar. You can see that now the assignment shows up on the 4th. When you're creating assignments or tests, the due date is very important. If you want it to show up on your calendar, you have to make sure you do assign a due date to it. The next feature we will talk about today is called the Content Editor Advanced Features. The Content Editor allows you to add and format text, insert equations and hyperlinks, insert tables, and attach different types of files to create content. The editor appears throughout the system as the default editor. To find the content editor, we can go into any content area here in the menu. So I'll click on Assignments, point to Build Content, and click on Item. This is the content editor right here. The content editor has two view modes, Simple Mode and Advanced Mode. By clicking on the chevrons in the right-hand corner, you can collapse the rows, which puts it into Simple Mode, or expand the rows, which puts it into Advanced Mode. The third row here are all the new features that will be available in spring of 2015. And I'll just point to them and tell you a little bit about them. The Record from Webcam feature allows you to record video using your own webcam and inserting it here into the content area. The Insert File allows you to add a link to a file in the text box. You can insert, embed, edit an image, insert, embed, edit a media clip, there is now a math editor. If I open this up, you can see here, you can now insert mashups, Blackboard Collaborate sessions, YouTube videos, or SlideShare presentations. You can now click to show all non-printing characters for formatting purposes. You can format your text as block quotes. There's now a special character window where you can insert special characters. You can insert emoticons. You can set anchors to position items and objects such as images. You can now insert and edit all types of tables. This allows you to open the HTML code view window. You can directly edit the content HTML code right here. And you can also edit the cascading style sheets. This here allows you to open a preview window to show how the content will appear after you submit. The next new feature we'll be talking about today is the discussion board. The thread detail page is thoroughly redesigned, yet maintains all of its existing functions. Here's some of the highlights. As you can see, all of the posts are now on one page. All posts in a thread are now visible at the same time on one page. There's role highlighting, so if I point to the star next to Karen Harold here, you can see that this is the instructor or the manager of this forum. Inline replies. When replying to a post, the content editor used to write a response appears on the same page in the context of the discussion. So you can see that Karen B replied to Karen A, and Karen A replied to the instructor. The accessibility of this post now makes it simple to consume with screen reader technology. All the clutter has been removed on the page, so screen reader and keyboard only users have less to sift through as they navigate the interface. Another new feature, if I go back to my thread and I edit my thread, you can see here that there's a new feature called Post First Setting. If I click on this radio button here, instructors can now use a new form setting to require students to post to a forum before they can see other students' posts. That covers all of the new features in the discussion board. The next new feature we will be covering today is called the Global Navigation menu and My Blackboard menu. My Blackboard provides you with quick and easy access to critical and timely information regarding your institution, your courses, and your fellow classmates. The Global Navigation panel is new for Blackboard Learn Service Pack 12. If there have been any changes, notifications, or updates to your courses since your last login, you will see a red box with a number of alerts, and you can see here that I have 2 new alerts in the red box. To expand the panel, click the small triangle. A drop-down window split into 2 different menus will appear. This is the My Blackboard menu, and this is the User menu on this side. I will now cover each feature. Let's start with the My Blackboard menu. The icons on the left-hand side here is your My Blackboard menu. The first one is called Blackboard Home. If I click on that icon, this displays highlights of what is new since you've last logged in. For example, it displays an overview of the items that are due or have recently been graded, or posts that have posted to any of your courses. The next icon, the post icon. This page displays recent post contributions to discussion boards, blogs, wikis, and journals in all of your courses. The next icon, which is the update icon, is a list of notifications alerting you to important events and information like notifications, achievements, announcements, and course evaluations. The up-down arrows is the retention center, and you can see that's where my 2 alerts are in my retention center. This displays which students are at risk in all of the courses you are teaching. The next icon is the calendar icon. You can view all of the events and the due dates from all of your courses. Now on the right-hand side, we have the User menu. Under Courses, you can have a quick access to your most recently visited courses that you are teaching. Under Settings, you can modify your notification settings and personal information here. This home link will take you back to your institution page, and this help link will take you to help.blackboard.com, where you can select help for instructors. And that covers the Global Navigation and My Blackboard overview. The next new feature we will be talking about today is called the Inline Grading for Assignment feature. Instructors can view student-submitted files inline now, meaning in the web browser, without requiring any plugins, applets, or client-side applications. Additionally, annotation tools are available as part of the inline viewer, enabling instructors to provide feedback, comments, highlights, and even drawings and annotations directly on the inline view of the document. You access the assignment the same way as you always did, through the Grade Center. So I'll click on Full Grade Center, and here I see an assignment that needs to be graded. I will click the drop-down arrows, click on View Grade Details, click on View Attempts, and here is the new look for the inline grading for assignments. You can view, you can comment, and grade student-submitted files without ever leaving this page. When you view a document submitted as an assignment, the document is converted to a format that is viewable inside this web browser. Supported document types that can be converted at this point are Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and PDF. The converted document is displayed in a viewer on the Grade Assignment page. Formatting and embedded images of the original document are preserved in the conversion. I can now zoom in or zoom out on the student's submitted document. If I click on this comment button, I have choices where I can highlight things for the student, or I can even comment. I can make an area comment. If I click here, you'll see that you can move this around and leave comments for the students on their paper. I can leave a text comment. And click off, and you can see here that I've just left them a text comment. I can scroll through the pages with these up-down arrows here. So you can see that I can do a lot of formatting right here in the window in front of me. I also see a lot of information over here, the name of the assignment, the due date, class statistics. I can put the grade in right here and give the student their grade. I can put feedback in right here and add notes, private notes to myself as the instructor. I can save it as a draft, or I can submit right here. So once I'm done correcting the student's paper with all of their little notes and annotations and their the grade, I can click on submit. And this goes directly back into the Grade Center. If I click on Return to Grade Center, you can see that the grade is right here. I now have logged in as a student. I logged in as a student that submitted that paper that we just looked at. And if I go in from the student view and I check on my assignment, this is exactly how I can see it. It's also in line, just as how you corrected it, with all of your notes and annotations and highlights, and with your feedback, and with my grade. So I also view it in line just as you do on the student's side. Now I am back in the instructor's view, back in the full Grade Center. If a student has submitted an attempt, but you want to give them another opportunity, you can invite them to submit again, and here's how you do that. You click on the down arrows next to the score, click on View Grade Details, and you can allow additional attempts right here. Create a new attempt for this user, click on Yes. What that does is that allows an additional attempt for a student who has already submitted a paper. You can continue to offer opportunities to resubmit attempts each time the student reaches the maximum number. You do not have to grade previous attempts to allow a student to submit again. Alternately, you can also click Ignore Attempt in the grade calculations and not count it against the maximum number of attempts that the student has already had. If you have allowed multiple attempts for an assignment and a student has submitted all attempts, they appear in the Grade Cell's contextual menu. I'll now return to the Grade Center menu. And if I click next to the grade that I have given the student for the attempt, the multiple attempts will show up right here, and you'll be able to see how many attempts the student had and what the grades are for those attempts. This concludes the tutorial for the Inline Grading for Assignment tool. The next new feature we will be talking about today is the Retention Center. You find the Retention Center down under the control panel under Evaluation. Click on Retention Center. The Retention Center provides an easy way for you to discover which students in your course are at risk. Based on pre-configured rules and rules you create, students' engagement and participation are visually displayed, quickly alerting you to potential risk. From the Retention Center, you can communicate with struggling students and help them take immediate action for improvement. As you can see here on the Retention Center page, I have two students loaded, and they both have missed certain deadlines or certain rules, and you can tell that by looking at these red dots here. You can also click on the title bar where there's the number 2, and it shows 2 students at risk. And if I click on that, I'll see 2 have missed deadlines, and 1 has not logged in the time frame that you've expected your students to log in. I can click right here on these numbers, click on the 2 it will pull up the students that have missed the rules, and I can email them right from here. And I can choose if I want both or just one. Same thing for this rule over here, the login rule. If I click on this number 1 and I click on the 1 again, it shows who missed the login rule, and I can email them right from here. Email notifications you send have a default subject and message that you can edit. If you are sending an email to more than one recipient, the list is not revealed to the group. You can also see the rules and the deadlines that are missed by clicking next to the student and clicking on the little red circle, and it shows you exactly the problem, what problem has occurred. You can use the 4 default rules to begin receiving alerts about your students and how they are doing in your course. If you click on Customize, the 4 default rules show up here. There's a default activity, a default course access, a default grade, and a default missed deadline. And you can see here what the criteria is for each one of these. You can edit these to your liking, or you can create your own. By putting in title here and defining your criteria right here, clicking on Submit. Once your rules are set up, you can pull your at-risk students from your list here and pull them over to the right side here so you can monitor them better. If I click on Karen B, because I see she's got 2 alerts here and this might be happening frequently, I can click on her name. I can click on this monitor button, and what that does is pulls her out over here. I'm monitoring her closely. It pulls it out on the right hand side of my screen so I can check on her frequently. If I click on the star there, I can take her off. Once again, put her back on through here. I can also notify students right from, or notify each individual student right from their retention status page right here. So if she's having a problem here, I can click on the notify and email her right from here. You can also turn the retention center on or off in your course from Control Panel, Customization, Tool Availability, and you can turn it off right here under Retention Center. So if you choose not to use it, you can take it out of your course. This concludes your tutorial for the Retention Center. The next new feature we will be covering today has to do with test and survey options. As you can see here, I have a test deployed already, and if I click on the down arrows and I go to edit the test options, there's 3 new features in this area. The first one, test availability exceptions. The new settings allow instructors to select 1 or more groups of students and make a number of exceptions to the already established availability settings. Instructors can use exceptions to provide an accommodation to a disabled student or provide accommodations for technology and language differences. So if I click on Add User or Group and I choose student Karen A and I say Submit, I can now give her exceptions to take this test. I can change the attempts, I can change the time, I can change the availability date, and I can also change the forced completion option. You can change these settings at any time, even after the test has been attempted by some students. The next new feature is called Show Test Results and Feedback to Students. After students complete a test, test results and feedback are available to them. By setting up rules, you can set the release of progressive feedback to keep test results secure and prevent teaching. So for instance, I can say that after the students take this test, after submission, I will only give them their score. But After the availability end date, once the test is no longer available to them, then I can give them all the answers, the correct and the submitted. With this combination of rules here, you can decide when and how your students see your feedback, see your answers, and see all the correct and submitted answers. Once again, this secures your test results and this prevents cheating. The last new feature is called the due date and late submission feature. This new setting allows you to decide whether or not to allow a student to take a test after the due date has passed. If you click on this choice, students are not allowed to take a test after the due date has passed. They will receive a message telling them the test cannot be completed because the due date has passed. But you also know that if this is not chosen, they're still allowed to take it, but the late submission will clearly be marked in your grade center on the needs grading page. This concludes all the new features for the test and survey option area.